Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Naruto Shippuden, episode 346. And 347 came out as well, but it looks like it's mostly, if not entirely, filler, and I haven't watched it yet. So right now we're just going to do this review, and if it does end up being an episode that I decide to review, then it'll be in this video as well, and you'll be able to see in the title if it says 346 and 347 review. But for now, I'm just going to do the review for 346. And the second half of this episode is filler too, so I'm not even going to bother talking about that. It's just Yahiko, Nagato, Conan stuff. Who really cares? Well, I mean, they're cool characters and all, but still, like, who cares? Who cares? It's completely irrelevant for the situation right now, and it kind of takes you out of the moment. So yeah, didn't really like that part. But the other half of the episode is clearly important. Obito remembers Madara and Zetsu's words, them talking about Infinite Tsukuyomi, and he says he wants to create a world with Rin and Kakashi in it, which is why he left Kakashi alive. He goes back to Madara. I'll mention something about that later on in the episode. Later on in the episode. Wow. Later on in the review. But he goes back to Madara, and Madara uses Infinite Tsukuyomi on him. Yeah, and he explains how it works, how he can pretty much do whatever he freaking wants to in there. Alright? And he says that while he did use Infinite Tsukuyomi on Obito individually, in order to use it on the entire world, to increase the scale of the jutsu to the point where it can be used on the entire world, you need the moon and you need the 10 tails. Which a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people don't know that. You can in fact use Infinite Tsukuyomi without the 10 tails and the moon. The only time you need those two things is when you increase the scale to the point where it affects the entire world, and probably a little bit less than that too. Even half the world, you'd need the moon at the very least. But yeah, he's just describing the jutsu pretty much and the plan in general. He talked about how he got the Rinnegan. He talked about how he summoned the Ghetto Mazo. Because after his fight with Hashirama, he got Hashirama's cells, and when he got old, he unlocked / awakened the Rinnegan. That's when he was able to summon the Ghetto Mazo, which is the shell of the 10 tails. And then Madara teaches Obito some jutsu, like how to use the 6 paths, Shadow and Light style, which involves controlling the Zetsu and doing sage-like things pretty much, which that becomes much more relevant later on in this fight. So I won't really talk about that right now. But just know it's not just some random thing. It does become relevant later. And yeah, Madara ends up inserting his will into Zetsu, which is how Black Zetsu is created. And then he disconnects himself from the Genamazo and he dies. And then that's when Black Zetsu regularly. Yeah, that's when Akatsuki Zetsu, the one like both halves. That's when Zetsu shows Obito, Nagato, Yahiko, and Conan, and he goes and he tries to talk no jutsu them because they need Nagato because they can't control the. Well, Obito can control the Geromazo, but he can't summon it. You need the Rinnegan for that. Plus, they want to use Nagato so that he ends up giving his life to use Rinne Tensei to revive Madara. So they need Nagato, so they go over and they try to talk no jutsu him. No, they say no. Yahiko says no. Conan doesn't say anything. Nagato looks interested, but Yahiko says no. But Obito ends up telling Nagato after the others have walked away that he's going to be in that same spot every day at the same time. And obviously, Nagato ended up going there. And it was probably when Yahiko died, sometime after that. But yeah, that's it for as far as what happened in the episode. But as far as the thing I wanted to talk about, it's that when Obito said he wanted to create a world with Rin and Kakashi in it. How can I phrase this? Because I don't want to come off as a fanboy, especially since I don't even really find the manga interesting right now. But because I can't really talk about it because it's anime and I don't want to spoil people. The point is that I don't really care about what's going on right now, so I don't want to come off as a fanboy. I'm just a logical person, so I can see things. So don't take this the wrong way, but it's kind of stupid to listen to what Obito said there, because think about it. He's a child, pretty much. Kids that age want to pretend that they're not kids anymore, but they really are. They're still kids. He's a kid, and he just witnessed someone being murdered right in front of his eyes. Okay, so he's clearly messed up. Even Sawyer said it last week in his review. I didn't watch his review this week yet, but he said it last week in his review that Obito was in denial. That alone should tell you something. When someone's in denial, they say crazy things. I remember when I was in 5th grade, which means I was younger than Obito at the time, but still. I was in 5th grade. That's when my grandfather died, and I was in denial too. I thought he was going to literally like wake up inside the casket and say he was taking a nap the entire time. Like, that's just how kids are. It's denial. It's one of the 5 stages of grief. That's just how people are. Even Sawyer, like I said, Sawyer said it last week too. And Obito, in this case, when he said that, he was clearly in denial. This isn't even something that's arguable. It's just fact. He was in denial. Indeniable. He was in denial. All right, so you can't really take what he's saying seriously. I mean, it's not. I mean, it'd be one thing if his actions throughout the series had actually agreed with that statement, but they don't. So you can't really take what he's saying seriously. He's just, his mind is messed up. If you take a kid his age and you murder someone right in front of them, they're going to be pretty messed up. It's a traumatic experience. He's traumatized, so he's clearly not going to be like, his mental state is just not one where you can trust what he's saying. That's the point I'm trying to make. All right. Imagine you're a judge and you're about to put a kid on the stand, but right before the kid goes up to the stand, one of his closest friends gets murdered right in front of his eyes. Are you still going to say minutes later, like, go up in the stand and testify anyway, I'm sure you'll be fine? No, you're not. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, right? So you can't really take what he's saying there seriously. I know some people thought literally the only evidence in the entire series that shows that Obito is doing this for Rin is this flashback, and this, like I just got finished saying, this evidence is not evidence at all. I mean, it's clear. Once you clear your head, you get all the ideas out, all the assumptions that you've been making so far. Once you get all those out and you think clearly, you realize that no, that's not. No, that's clear. Like I said, his state of mind is not one where you can trust what he's saying. So this is like the only evidence in the entire series that shows that Obito is doing it for Rin, and that's not valid evidence. So there really is none. Especially when you think about how you don't need the moon and the 10 tails to use Infinite Tsukuyomi. So if he really wanted to see Rin again that badly, well, first of all, he could just use regular Genjutsu. I can't really explain it's something that happens later on. I don't want to spoil, but the point is that if he wanted to see Rin again all those years ago, he could have done it pretty freaking easily. And as Mato showed in this episode, you don't need the 10 tails of the moon to use Infinite Tsukuyomi. So literally all he had to do was pick up a mirror and boom, he sees Rin again. Just use the jutsu on himself. So I really don't say, to me it's pretty clear. I don't know why other people don't believe it. Well, yeah, I do, but yeah. That's really it for this review, you guys. Debunking rumors and just summarizing an episode that was half filler and explaining some things involving Madara, like the episode did. And yeah, that's it. That's it for this review. Whether or not I do episode 347, you guys will know because this video will not have ended yet. And it will say in the title, yeah, no, yeah, you'll see in the title that it says 346 and 347 review. But for now, I'm just gonna assume that I'm only reviewing this episode and say that's it. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Yo, you guys. This is just, I'm not continuing the review, I just wanted to say that I will review the flashback, just not now. I'm going to wait until the entire thing is finished, because it's not really, it's filler, but not really. Like, it's expanding on something that we already knew happened. Kind of like the arc they had before with the 3 tails and how it got captured, and, Guren, it's Crystal style, so it's one of those type of fillers, which I actually like, so. Yeah, I won't do it now. I'll wait until the flashback is over to do that. But and then I'll just review the entire thing at once. So, yeah. See you guys next time.
からない